There will always be debates over who is the greatest NBA player of all time. Throughout the years, the NBA has seen countless talents rise to prominence and dominate, etching their names in the history books. In the 90s, a wide range of stars played the game, with Michael Jordan being regarded as one of the best. The early 2000s also saw the rise of the late Kobe Bryant, one of the GOAT contenders like Jordan. In the 2010s, stars like Kevin Durant and LeBron James have also risen to prominence. Another player whose name has been praised by fans and critics several times is Steph Curry. The Warriors man has established himself as an NBA modern-day legend after shaking off a low-key start to his career. However, Steph Curry is no longer at the forefront of the GOAT discussion. In fact, recently he was considered the main reason for the downfall of the Warriors. But why is that? Well, let's talk about this in today's video. Make sure to watch the video till the end. It took the Golden State Warriors several years to regain their place at the top of the NBA, after going through several difficult periods, including a multi-year layoff for Klay Thompson. Everything seemed to be going well for the Brooklyn Nets when they won their first NBA Finals game in 2021-2022 against the Boston Celtics. With young players like Jordan Poole stepping up in the crunch time, the team sets its sights back-to-back championships with the help of young players like him. As part of the off-season plans, the team was expected to re-sign Jordan Poole to an extension of his contract. Before this happened, however, Draymond Green also struck Poole in the face at practice when he socked him in the face. Within a matter of minutes, the Warriors' future was put in jeopardy. Several analysts have questioned whether Poole or Green will opt out of the final year of their contracts after the season. They both agreed to move on after Green took hiatus. As soon as the season started, things got worse. As the NBA media scrutinised the team, they had an underwhelming start. Despite Poole and Green's altercation being in the past, the present wasn't much better. Just when things were starting to click in Golden State, the injury bug reared its ugly head and saw Steph Curry sidelined with a non-shooting shoulder injury. So how did Steph Curry's injury affect the Golden State Warriors? Well, the injury to Steph Curry was absolutely devastating to the team. As soon as the Golden State Warriors appeared to be getting into a rhythm, it seemed as if they had been taken away from them. As a matter of fact, when Curry went down with a serious injury, the team went on an impressive run in his absence and ended the month of December with a record of 5-3 in his absence. A few days later, it was revealed that Steph Curry had been back at practice, looking to work through the injury to help his team rather than sit out any longer than necessary. He struggled a lot when he returned to the floor on January the 10th against the Phoenix Suns. This team lost to a Phoenix team that was missing many of their starters and key players due to injury. This fueled analysts like Kendrick Perkins to state that the fear factor the Warriors once possessed was all but gone. From his perspective, the team was in win-now mode, and every loss that would have pushed them further away from the championship would have been devastating. So, why do people think this way? Well, to answer this, we have to look at how terrible the Warriors have been on the road. After the first quarter, the Warriors were 0-16 on the road when they trailed after the first quarter. As a result, the defending champions are now 0-19 on the road when they are down after 3 quarters. It's troubling in both cases, but the slow starts are the most concerning. It is the 10th consecutive loss for the Warriors, and it is also the 10th game in a row where there was no lead at the end of the first quarter for the Warriors. It was the last time that they did that on Feb 11th against the Los Angeles Lakers, when they had 22-21 lead going into the second quarter of the game against the Lakers. Regardless of how powerful a team's scoring may be, if they trail early in every game, it's a surefire way for them to fail in the long run. As for what hurt the Warriors the most, it was the same thing that has hurt them the most all season: turnovers and free throws. During the Golden State's game against Oklahoma City, they gave the ball away 21 times, which resulted in Oklahoma City capitalizing on those turnovers in order to score 26 points. In the first half of the game, the Thunder took 2-3 free throws. As a result, they shot 15 points in the third quarter alone. Taking all of that into consideration, the Warriors have now lost 7 straight road games and will now play the Grizzlies in Memphis. So does that mean the Golden State Warriors need a roster change? There is no doubt that the team is fighting and clawing for a spot in the Western Conference playoffs. and every win or loss is a big one. Currently only 2 games separate 5th place in the West from 11th place in the West. In spite of the Warriors being in 6th place, many believe that they are about to make a trade. The trade deadline is rapidly approaching, and it has been predicted that the team could look to trade Moses Moody and James Wiseman in order to keep their roster together. The 2 young players are valuable assets, especially to a team looking to build toward the future. It's impossible for the Warriors, a team that is in a win-now mode, to give these young players the time that they need to develop. Due to this, many believe that it's time for Steph Curry and the Warriors to make a move in order to avoid missing the trade deadline. After halfway through the season, the Warriors will have to get their act together in the second half of the year if they wish to be able to go back-to-back next season. Nevertheless, the question still remains, why is Steph Curry getting so much hate? Since Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors won their 4th NBA championship, they have been on an absolute rollercoaster ride that hasn't let up until now. Following its victory over the Boston Celtics in last year's NBA Finals, the LA Lakers set their sights on winning back-to-back titles this year, as Klay Thompson gained back his physical health and played like he used to. It seemed as if the stars were aligning for a successful season. After losing several key role players off the bench during the off-season, many doubted how the team would look when regular seasons started with the tip-off for the second half of the season. Those questions were answered before Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole at practice, igniting a media firestorm which threatened the team's future. In Golden State, there was plenty of uncertainty due to Poole's extended contract and Green's player option. Despite the fact that the 2 men put the situation behind them, as soon as the season started, the team couldn't seem to get things going on the court once again. As Steph Curry has recently returned from an injury and is eager to play through his lingering non-shooting shoulder problems, the Golden State Warriors are currently sitting below 500 in the standings. During a recent episode of Undisputed, Shannon Sharpe spoke about the state of the team, saying, "I'm not surprised that he was a little bit rusty, but it's not a good look when you come back with that lineup and the Suns without D-Book, Ayton without CP3 and without Cameron Johnson and without Cam Payne, and they still beat you by 12. That's not a good look, Skip." We talked earlier that there's no methodical team. In the West, the team are really evenly matched. On any given Sunday, any given night, you can get beat, but the fear factor that the Warriors used to possess is no longer there. So with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors sitting in 6th place in the conference, there's no doubt that the team remains very much a contender. Once you make it to the playoffs, there's only one thing that matters, and that's winning a game. As long as Steph Curry remains healthy, the Warriors could move up the standings. But if the Warriors are going to make any kind of playoff push, they will need him at his best. Anyway, what do you guys think about it? Write your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.